What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Anfernee McLemore, and since the global pandemic started in 2020, it just so happened to align with when I graduated college. And the reason why I'm saying that is that the purpose of this video is talk about the 5 most in-demand work from home jobs of this year. So the year that I'm publishing this video is 2023, but I personally thought that work from home jobs would go extinct back in 2020 after a few months. But here we are 3 years later, and I pretty much have yet to step foot in an office. So not only do I run this YouTube channel of mine, but I also work full-time work from home, and I want to use this video not only to talk about the jobs that are most in demand right now, but also talk about how you can acquire a work from home job yourself. So if you think you find any kind of value in this video, then go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. And also, if you go down to the description and sign up to the public app, if you go down there and sign up, you will get a free stock just for signing up. You don't have to deposit any money, just sign up and get your free money. However, going right into the video, the idea for this video actually came about when I was reading a CNBC Make It article. And I tend to browse articles from time to time when I'm scrolling through X, formerly known as Twitter, and this one just happened to catch my eye because work from home does hold a special place in my heart because it allows for greater flexibility in your scheduling. It allows for more savings because you don't have to spend money on gas and less wear and tear on your vehicles. And overall, I believe that it provides a much healthier work-life balance than you would have if you spent 8+ hours in the office every week. So when someone are talking about the benefits and disadvantages of work from home, I get it that some people may try to abuse the system and be lazy and use it as a way to work less. However, for some people, and I believe for the average working class American, the work from home system simply allows people to be more efficient. It allows them to be healthier mentally when working, and also it just provides more time for them to be with their families, be with their friends, as well as getting the same amount, if not more, work done. But before we get into my tips of actually acquiring work from home jobs, here are the 5 most in-demand work from home jobs of 2023. And not shockingly, a lot of these jobs are going to be based around computers, computer programming, or overall Excel-based knowledge. So if you're someone who doesn't fall in that category, then there's still some options to work from home for you. However, these that I'm going to talk about are the most in demand as of right now. And the number 1 most in-demand job of 2023 is going to be Android app development. Now, when I first read this, I was actually pretty surprised because I am an Apple user myself. I have an iPhone, I have my MacBook behind me, I have my Mac Mini that I'm using to record and edit these videos. And while Apple devices may have a little bit of an advantage in the United States, the overwhelming majority of global users actually use Android devices. So being an Android app developer can actually greatly increase your chances of landing a job because the pool of users and potential customers for Android apps are so much greater globally than they are for Apple devices. And also, while I am not a computer programmer myself, I believe that the Android interface allows for greater flexibility, greater customization than you would see with some of the limitations that the Apple devices have. And I definitely think that if you're not trained in Android app development right now, that this is definitely a skill that you can acquire over a 4 to 8 week course. You could probably even get all the skills just from watching YouTube videos. And overall, I feel that if you just had the willingness to learn how to do this, that a lot of it would just draw down to how creative and how efficient you were if you actually did pursue this path. But if you didn't want to go into Android app development, the number 2 and number 3 most in-demand jobs of 2023 for work from home jobs are actually Ajax and API jobs. Now, as I said, I am not a computer programmer by any means, so let me actually read verbatim what these 2 positions mean because I had no idea myself when I first read it. So Ajax is an acronym for asynchronous JavaScript and XML, and API means application programming interface. And what these basically means is that these 2 positions are web development and programming techniques that connect companies on the web, improve the speed and performance of web applications, and enable mobile experiences. And what I get from reading that is that these 2 jobs are basically web development, fancy graphic designers that know how to code. And actually, these coding jobs are some of the most flexible and also some of the most well-paying jobs in the entire work from home atmosphere. Like I said, I personally did not choose a career path revolved around coding, whether that's Ajax, API, or Android app development. I tend to like to stick towards the more simple route, which leads me to the number 4 most in-demand work from home job of 2023, which is actually going to be blog writing. And this one actually took me by surprise as well, just like number 1 did, because I personally did not know that blogging was still so popular. But then when I got to thinking about it, you may come across a ton of blogs on any given day and you don't even notice it. And this is because blogs have done a sneaky tactic of showing up in your social media feed. So instead of having to go to a website and read the blog, you just read one post from a blog at a time that gets shared by a friend. And the traffic that that person gets from you clicking on that blog post and reading it from the social media site is the same monetarily as they would if you actually went to their website and read it. So now I'm actually considering the idea of starting a blog site myself, not just for the web interface of the blog, but just for the ability of sharing articles on social media. So that way, if those social media articles get read, you still get compensated excited for your thoughts. And blogging was actually one of the first ways I started making money on social media about 4 years ago. And honestly, even back then, I was surprised with how easy it was to get monetized and actually start making some passive income from the articles that you put on the internet. If I ever do get back into blogging, I will document the entire process on this channel, as I tend to like to do. So if you think you'll find any kind of value in those videos, then hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for that. But the fifth most in-demand work from home job, meaning one of the most coveted work from home jobs of 2023, is actually going to be creating YouTube or TikTok content. And this one did not surprise me at all, because as the pandemic caused people to work from home, I personally saw an influx in new YouTubers who decided to start posting videos, and those who actually stuck with it and got monetized are likely starting to make a little bit of money in passive income now. And the thing with these last two jobs is that they are less jobs and more side hustles or more passion projects, depending on how you treat them. And the idea for me for the last two jobs with blogging and making YouTube content is that you can build them up on the side of your 9-to-5 job that you work from home and build a second income that way. However, now let me get to my tips of how to get a work from home job and how to get noticed when there's so much competition out there. And my very first tip that I think everyone should do is have an updated resume. Make sure you have all of your work experience listed, your objective statement on there, all of your education experience, so that way when you're ready to hand that piece of paper to a headhunter, you don't have to add any information after the fact that they read it. They should already have everything that they need to know about you just from reading that one-page piece of paper. And there are a lot of resources on how to have a great resume. I personally think that watching a few YouTube videos about it wouldn't be a bad idea. And then once you have your good resume, I personally would recommend going on Indeed and applying to as many work from home jobs as possible. I recently saw a post on social media talking about how this person applied for 25 jobs and didn't hear a call back within about 2 weeks. And I thought that 25 jobs in 2 weeks was an extremely low number. If you're trying to get an in-person job in your city, then maybe that is a reasonable amount, because there may not be that many businesses in your city. But if you're trying to get a work from home job, you theoretically could work from anywhere in the country. You don't have to work just within your region. So I would say apply for 25 jobs before lunch every single day and total about 50 applications per day, and do this until you apply for 500 jobs, until you can get at least 5 to 10 interviews, so that you can secure some options of your work from home job. If you are trying to get a work from home job, I would say that this is not the time to be picky, because having a good work from home position, especially now that the pandemic has sort of gone on to the back of everyone's head, most employers are trying to get people to come back into work, so they're not necessarily eager to hire someone who's only willing to work remotely. So I would say apply, and apply some more. Obviously, don't apply for anything that you're unqualified for or that you will be uninterested in doing. But across the entire nation, or at least in your time zone that you live in, there's probably thousands of work from home jobs that you could qualify for, full-time, part-time, temporary, and seasonal jobs that you could use to get your foot in the door and then work towards a more lucrative position after you have it that way. Now, I'm not saying that working in office is a bad idea by any means. All I'm saying is that it is less efficient time-wise and productivity-wise. So actually taking a pay cut in some of these areas would still leave you with a net overall profit after you take into account depreciation on your car and gas expenses. So don't get caught up on the salaries and all the ins and outs. Apply to a ton of quality companies and just see what happens. And that's pretty much the extent of my advice of getting a work from home job. Have an updated resume and make a ton of applications. Once you then decide to go to the interview process, just make sure that you're being friendly and being yourself, and be honest with your intentions on how you want to work. You don't want to go into the interview process saying that you're willing to work hybrid or willing to work in the office if your actual intention is to be working 100% remotely. That would just lead to some friction between you and your employer, and since you haven't been working there all that long, you haven't built up any brownie points, so you may not be in a position to be making demands anyway. However, if you found any kind of value in this video, then tap that like button for your boy. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to get a free stock, then go down to the description and sign up to the public app, where if you sign up and create an account, you will get a free stock as a thank you from me to you. If you want to see more content like this, then hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Peace.